Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel where we share safe real estate investment tips, talk about property law, and share credible real estate investment opportunities here in Nigeria. Basically, every video on this channel is an asset to real estate investors and property buyers. Finally, on this channel, every subscriber is family, a family of millionaire real estate investors. Welcome.
Okay, so today I'm not talking about property law, neither am I talking about real estate in itself, but I'm going to share an amazing story that concerns a real estate transaction that I did. So it's real estate related and it could help you in the means of carrying out a real estate transaction. And that's a story of how the Holy Spirit played a great role in one of the real estate transactions I carried out some time ago. And yes, my name is Raymond Ijoma, and I'm a real estate entrepreneur as well as a property lawyer here in Nigeria. So basically, it happened that a client reached out to me through a referral and wanted to get a property outside of where I lived, and I needed to travel for days to get the job done. He wasn't anywhere close to the area. I just told me that I needed property in this place and I should travel and go do that. Under the auspices of Fortreal Rei Ltd. Okay, so I traveled. I made some calls before I went, established some contacts for some properties, and eventually I I settled in. I started running around. I'm going to cut the very long story short, actually a very complicated story, right? And eventually I got this, checked out a lot of properties, and I got this one that was amazing and fit my client's budget. He wanted to build a hostel in the particular location close to the school. And at the time we wanted to make payments, first of all, they decided to hide the contact of the direct owner of the land. That was a big issue for me because I always want to reach out to the direct owner. At the point, some were saying they were going to sign for the owner. I'm like, no, that is not going to work. A number of factors and rules must be obeyed here, you know. And on the other side of it, I checked out the properties, asked a couple of questions, reached out to neighborhoods and all of that, and eventually I I I liked the properties. I asked for the document. The first issue that we had in between was they told me that I saw the tax document, I looked at it and I knew something major was missing. And I told her that I cannot go ahead with the deal. As a matter of fact, in my mind at the time, if that the complete document or that detail that was missing is not there, even if they had given me that property for less than 2 million naira, I won't even take it because it will never be a good deal for my client. Because I always say it on this channel that the physical property is as important as the title document. If something is wrong with the title document, then something is wrong with the property, and they both go side by side. You don't want to joke with either of them, all right? Okay, so after that took us hours to sort out, and eventually we got the right documents and everything was intact. And uh, moving forward, I started having issues with the seller, this agent, four agents in between, and that was a big deal. If you're into real estate transactions, you know when four active agents are in between a particular transaction, you know that is a big issue. Okay, so to cut the long story short, there was a sister to the man who owned the land. The man was living in Asaba, and basically the thing was complicated. So in between, I this person's we settled on the price. I settled on the price. I eventually got the direct contact to the owner. I spoke to him. We spoke extensively, had the conversation and all of that. Sorted out himself, or sorted out his own parts, and then agent started, this is my court, this is my court, this is my court, this is my court, and everything became complicated. I was pissed. By this time, I had spent 3 days. I spent 3 days there, and initially, I kept on renewing my hotel bills. And long story cut short, I got angry. Everybody got angry. This agent got angry. Returned the title document. Got angry. Everyone got angry for certain reasons. Really, because the seller became very selfish. He didn't want to release anything to any of any of the agents, didn't want to release even 1 naira to any of the agents, and that was selfish because ordinarily for people who help you to get property, people who help you to sell your property. I mean, you are not even within the state. They did everything for you, and you can't release 1 naira to them. That was really sad. But the guy wasn't ready to even shake. He wasn't concerned. In fact, he used phrases like he used a particular phrase that was very funny. I mean, I'm very busy. If you're not interested, you just stop disturbing me. And I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, cut the long story short, I got angry. At on that particular third day, I had not eaten. That was somewhere around 4 p.m. So I just went um, to somewhere to get good food, and I was so angry. And then I started to, I remember that okay, it was in between, and even at that point, my own client wasn't reachable. I couldn't get access to him. In fact, he fell ill in the whole of it. He was hospitalized in between the whole transaction, and and yeah, and I started praying. I started speaking in tongues. Started praying. Started praying. Started speaking in tongues. In where I was eating, and after a while, I stayed there for an hour, and the Holy Spirit gave me an idea. And I reached out to this agent, communicated, reached out to that one, communicated, reached out to that one, communicated, reached out to the owner, communicated. And to cut the long story short, everything fell in place. Everything fell in place. It was amazing. I was super excited. On the fourth day or the fifth day, I can't remember exactly now. The fourth or fifth day, the a relation, two relations from the sellers, buyers, and eventually just came around to know the place, because the plan was that I would sort out everything, and then the owner, the buyer, would just come see the place, know the place for himself, and then and make payment. So eventually, two of his relations came around and saw the place. I took them around, showed them with both the houses of the agent as well as the relations to the seller and all of that. Even anyway, long story cut short, I eventually settled everything and payment were made, document was signed, and everything was good. I still have contacts and relationship with the agents and all of that, and it was a good thing. And I am super excited sharing this because I know that sometimes we have difficulties in certain things, but the Holy Spirit is such an amazing business partner. Alright, so basically the Holy Spirit is such an amazing business partner and friend. And but for his intervention, I already lost that deal. But for his intervention, I already lost that deal. And either I would have maybe spent another maybe 1 week, or because I would have started afresh all through this transaction, and maybe my client would get frustrated because of the hotel bills he was paying, and then that's how maybe I would have just received my payment to come back or something. I don't know, but basically the transaction would have gotten become something else that would probably not have favored me if I didn't seek, or if I didn't get intervention from the Holy Spirit. And I don't know how this helps you, but this is just one of my stories in the real estate transaction, in the real estate business rather. And if you like what you watch, I don't know, you can also check out my other content. I share a lot of content with respect to property law and real estate transactions and real estate itself in Nigeria. So do want to check them out, and like this video if you do. Drop a comment, and if you need properties in Nigeria, you can always reach out to us, Fortreal Rei Ltd, via the number showing right on your screen. And on that note, today I'd like to say bye bye.